Welcome, foolish mortals, to another episode of the HitchHiking Host Show. We are your ghost hosts, Wes
and Jen.
Jen, did you have a nice Christmas?
Yeah, I did. Did you?
I did. I mean, it was like it didn't even happen yet. It was so good, you know?
Yeah, I know. It was so much fun. It just flew right by.
Yes. So, I hope everyone out there had a good Christmas, too. How about that parade, the Christmas parade? That was pretty cool. This week, we're going to kick off the show. We've done a few top fives in the past. We're going to do another top five. This one is going to be bucket list hotels, which are hotels not necessarily just in Walt Disney World, but any Disney resort, Disney Vacation Club, anything that we would like to stay at. We haven't stayed at yet, but we'd like to. So just like C6 started out with nothing, we're starting out the show. Okay, here are our top 5 Disney bucket list hotels. Number 5 for me is, I'll say why after, the Port Orleans French Quarter Hotel.
Oh, good call.
Because, you know why? Because of the slide. Ever since I was a kid, ever since I was a little kid, I'd watch those video cassettes where they show, you know, some of the parks and blah blah blah. VHS tapes, I know, it's going back a ways. And I remember when we would get to the hotel part, I'd see that slide and I'd be like, "That is awesome! I want to stay there one day." And I still remember that today. So I thought I should really put that on the list. That slide is awesome, and I would like to see. Now that I'm older, I enjoy the rest of the hotel as well. My number 4. I was actually in this hotel out in California. I was actually in one of the rooms. I went back with my friends Jeff and George of Communicore Weekly. And
I was wondering where that was going.
yeah.
I was like, wow, Wes.
We did nothing but charge our phones. Let's just put that out there before we get any rumors going out there on the internet. And they did their live show there. They stayed there, so I got to check it out. We drank at the bar. Yeah. Once again, nothing happened. But the Grand Californian is like a big mix between the Wilderness Lodge and like the Grand Floridian and some weird California mix. It's like a fancy Wilderness Lodge. I like the Wilderness Lodge more, but since I've stayed at the Wilderness Lodge, I can't have that on my list. So we're gonna go with Grand California. My number 3 hotel that I would wish to stay at is the Animal Kingdom Lodge, because I mean, you look out your window and there's a giraffe right in your face, basically. How cool would that be? Boma was on my bucket list restaurants, so Animal Kingdom Lodge is on this. I definitely would like to stay there. Safari Mike has told me wonderful, wonderful things about it. I just have to put down the money. All right, number 2 is we're going to go away from Disneyland, and we're going to travel to Hawaii. The Aulani Resort in Hawaii. Definitely an awesome, I mean, if I'm going to go to Hawaii, I'm going to check out a Disney place, right? If I'm going to go all the way there. And of course, as we talked about the Christmas special, Sarah Hyland was just there. So that was awesome. Yeah. And my number 1 hotel to stay at, bucket list, whatever, the Polynesian, of course. I think I've said it in probably at least 14 shows by now. That's the number 1 resort I want to stay at. So it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. I just like everything about it since I was 8, you know, since I had breakfast there.
And you had dinner there recently.
Yes, that's true. And I also scared the waitress.
You did.
All of he says, oh. So Jen, why don't you go ahead and tell us your top 5?
Well, I might as well just do my bottom 3 at this point. Number 5 for me is a Wilderness Lodge, which for me is pretty ironic that I even want to stay there, but I think it's pretty. I'm not normally a fan of cold weather and the rustic mountains and everything else, but something about Wilderness Lodge, I want to stay there. Number 4 actually has an interesting story behind it, and okay, I'll admit it. Number 4 is the Yacht and Beach Club. I don't care which one. I know they're separate entities. I don't care. But the story behind that is, back in the day of the Mickey Mouse Club, I used to love the Mickey Mouse Club. I watched it every week. They did this song, and I've actually posted it on Facebook before. I'm dead serious. They did the King of Wishful Thinking, and it was filmed there. Ever since I was a kid, I saw that video and I was like, oh, it looks really pretty. So I've always wanted to stay at the Yacht and Beach Club. And even when I walk through there, I still like look in the water and imagine, I forget the cast member's name, but I still think of like them filming the King of Wishful Thinking there. Same with the Backlot movie ride, so that's kind of why I'm bummed they tore down the Backlot ride. So that's okay. But that's my true confession of the Mickey Mouse Club days. Anyways,
confessions.
I know. True confession. Moving on. Number 3 is Boardwalk. It's one of my favorite hotels to walk through. I just love the atmosphere where you walk along the boardwalk, and you have the street performers, and you have like the games. It has a carnival feel to it, like you're in Atlantic City. I've been to Atlantic City, and it's pretty similar. So I do want to stay there. Number 2, Alani, I don't know. Anyways, whatever it's called. Wes will say it correctly, I won't, but that's okay. I just think it's pretty. I know a couple of people I interact with on social media, especially on Instagram. There's a local, and he gets to go to Alani a lot, and I've seen the pictures. I just want to go to Hawaii, and I just like tropical places, so I think Hawaii is pretty. And then number 1, Polynesian. I say that because, of course, Wes stole my thunder, but the Polynesian is my favorite. I don't know why I'm not more outspoken about it, but I love walking around there. I like going to Captain Cook's. I like walking around there and not scaring waitresses at Ohana.
Whoa!
Plus the volcano pool. How badass is a volcano pool? I think it's fun. But someday I will go there. And I also like watching Wishes from the beach when I do get a chance to go. So that's my top 5.
All right, well, for you people out there that say we don't talk about Universal Studios enough, here's your special treat. Because, we've got a treat for you.
You're in for a real treat.
Our main topic discussion this week is The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
I'm starting to get worried. Did you see that? The spider signal. With Spider-Man nearby, trouble can't be far away. You know what trouble means. Headlines! National coverage! So don't screw this up! I mean, good luck. Man, you shouldn't be out here. With Doc Ock on the loose, this could be the most dangerous night of my life. And yours. Be careful. Like shades. With my anti-gravity cannon, even Spider-Man won't be able to stop me. You can stop us. Yes, of course. Hey, what's going on? What was that? Intruder! If you think you're getting out of here, you're in for it. Please now. Things are just starting to. Time to throw you off the street. Spider-Man, you don't. Doc, your hair's worse than your haircut. Well, it's good enough for your city, Duck Brand. Have a nice trip. Hey, wait for me. You're not insured for this. Hang on, I'm letting you down from here. gonna die.
Guess again, Super
Atlantics!
No! Guess that wraps things up. You guys did all right. But don't give up your day job. Say cheese. See you later.
Congratulations, you're heroes. I knew it all the time.
The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man is a motion-based 3D dark ride that you will find in Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Japan. The ride was originally built to open in Islands of Adventure. It was set to open in 1999. The attraction combines special roving motion vehicles with 3D projection, elaborate physical sets, and both practical and tactile effects. Some of the special effects include lighting cues, simulator movements, projections, and wind effects.
As guests on a ride, they become last-minute reporters for the Daily Bugle. They enter the world of Spider-Man. They board a Daily Bugle vehicle known as the Scoop. The riders learn that the evil Sinister Syndicate has used an anti-gravity gun to capture the Statue of Liberty. The evil group consists of famous Spider-Man villains such as Scream, Hedgeman, Hobgoblin, Electro, and Dr. Octopus.
The attraction was 3 years in the making as it used many new technologies and techniques. The ride has been highly popular amongst guests, and it won several awards, including the Golden Ticket Award for Best Dark Ride for 12 years in a row.
As guests entered the Daily Bugle, they were shown a video touting the company's great reputation and show off the new news-gathering vehicle, the Scoop. Guests are shown a live video feed of news coverage after they walk through an empty office. As guests walk through the offices, it becomes apparent that the reporters have fled. They leave Editor-in-Chief J. Jonah Jameson with no other choice than to recruit the tourists to cover the story using the Scoop.
The tourists turned cub reporters don night vision goggles, aka 3D glasses, to get in Scoop as they leave for a Manhattan back alley where they meet Spider-Man. Spider-Man gives them an ominous warning that he is in for the most dangerous night of his life. Through a series of synchronized effects, guests will experience the sensations of Spider-Man jumping on the Scoop. As they nearly miss a trash truck, guests enter the warehouse location where the Sinister Syndicate are holding the Statue of Liberty hostage. Spider-Man is waiting in the sewer just as Electro, Scream, and Dr. Octopus attack and toss Scoop. In the sewers, he fights off Hydro Man and Dr. Octopus as the guests just barely escape to the river, where they are then attacked by exploding pumpkins from the Hobgoblin, sending guests into the streets. And I love when the Hobgoblin screams, "Spider-Man!"
As the ride climaxes, Dr. Octopus uses his anti-gravity cannon to lift Scoop up to 400 feet. The synchronized effects help create this feeling without the vehicle ever really leaving the ground. Spider-Man is attacked by all of the supervillains as he tries to pull Scoop down. Scoop is sent into a simulated freefall as Dr. Octopus disengages the anti-gravity device. Of course, Spider-Man saves the day, as he uses his webbing to rescue the Scoop from his freefall. His webs are also used to capture all the supervillains. As the ride vehicle pulls back to the unload station, the guests are thanked by Spider-Man as he sends them back to the Daily Bugle. He has rigged the anti-gravity cannon to lift Jameson up to the ceiling in his office. As guests unload, they might recognize an old familiar song as they hear the classic Spider-Man theme with a modern twist.
Just like that. So, Jen, do you want to start?
I think it's one of my favorite rides. Greatest thing I've ever been on. 4 stars, 2 thumbs up. Good fun, family fun entertainment.
The best ride you've never been on?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, obviously I've never been on it. I do like Spider-Man, so that would be enough to get me on it if I were to frequent Universal Studios enough. But yeah, best ride I've never been on. We'll go with that.
Okay. Now, since Jen took over with the show last week, now I will take over for this one.
We're even now.
Yeah. Yes. Everyone knows I've been a little bit outspoken over the years about Universal, and I'm not a fan of a lot of things there, but The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man is one of my favorites in the park. One of the 3 things that I can still stomach, pretty much, at Universal Studios Resort. Yeah, they get rid of this, Jurassic Park or E.T., I'm pretty much done. So, anyway, yes, this ride, when I went on it the first time, it sort of just blew my mind. It does definitely uses the screens and the vehicle, which was cool the first time. Let's put it that way. Now, unfortunately, because Spider-Man has sort of set Universal in that way for every single ride that they come up with as video screens and a vehicle. So it's good and it's not good. But it's like, oh, we're coming up with a new ride. Here's Transformers. It's just like Spider-Man, but there's Transformers. Here's the new Harry Potter ride. It's just like Spider-Man, but it's Harry Potter. It's like, get it. But anyway, I like the Spider-Man, the original. I'm a big comic book fan, if I haven't said that on here before. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. So I love the characters in there. I love all the villains, pretty much main villains. You got Hobgoblin, who screams Spider-Man and throws his pumpkin bomb, and definitely one of the coolest rides at Universal, I think. I like the whole Marvel Superhero Island. Unfortunately, now Disney owns Marvel, so I wish Disney could sort of get it from them. Even though I like the island, my heart's with Disney. I wish they could do other things. But anyway, yeah, I still really like the Spider-Man ride. The queue itself, this is one of Universal's first actual good queues. Because a lot of the rides before, they had stuff like Jaws and King Kong, but this is where they really got into it, where they actually put some effort into the queues. So that's cool. So definitely check out the queues as well in this Spider-Man ride. But yeah, the 3D effects are awesome. The whole ride, like I said, it's one of the best things at Universal. If you're going to Universal, definitely check out Spider-Man. I say this is better than anything Harry Potter. That's just me. I'm sure I'm going to get a thumbs down from a lot of people. Oh yeah. Well, that does it for this week's show. Jen, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at JenMia83.
And of course, you can follow our other hitchhiking host, Mandy, at Mandy Disney on Twitter, and her Flickr, Storybook Princess. As for me, you can follow me on Twitter at WesAList, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Westside515. And remember to swipe right on Tinder. And of course, for our hitchhiking host links, follow us at HitchHostShow on Twitter, like our Facebook page, facebook.com/HitchHostShow. Check out our Instagram at HitchHostShow. And, of course, subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/HitchHostShow. I'll be posting more ride-through videos when we get into the new year, so there's something to look forward to. Best year ever!
Ride-through videos is found on Mixer.
Yeah. So, until next time, don't forget to...
Hurry back,
for another episode.
Be sure to bring your death certificate.